Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with To Be Hero X episode number 6 reaction. So the previous episode we started a new story of a brand new set of characters. The main character's name is Yancho, I think. Yeah, that was his name. And we get to see his story. He wants to wants to become ESO. Now that whole section about that auditioning section and everything, that part I'm still not clear about. I think basically ESOL is a type of hero who is who changes or who will change. That's why a lot of people are auditioning, and the people who are trying to see and how much their trust value is, they're doing that because they want the person who has the most trust value to become the future ESOL or something like that. But anyways, our main character, he also wants to be like ESOL, and but he had no trust value. In the end, we get to see him saving that kid and him getting one trust value, which was able to help him get this boost of power to attack and defeat the enemies. Now, there's one thing that kind of I found odd, which was like one trust value was able to bring out that much power in him. So I kind of thought maybe like the kid is special or something, because the kid, they particularly tried to kidnap that kid. So I'm not exactly sure whether that's the case or it's just a normal kid, and yeah, nothing special is going on. So I feel like today's episode will probably shed more light into that. And yeah, and in the end, the previous episode we saw that guy who wanted to talk to Yancho, and I think he has some kind of a proposition for him. So let's see what happens. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh boy. Bro, what would he have done? It was in front. Okay. Yeah. For money. But why particularly? No, no, no. I think there's something else. Like there's some. Oh, the the electrical discharges. Damn. Wait, how much is his trust value currently? I was gonna say, how much? I couldn't see. Hmm. Okay, I think there's something going on with the kid. Like, come on, like, just for money? Like, why would the particularly? I don't understand. Like, it's just too weird. Like, there was it was not some random thug kidnapping the kid for money. There was someone in the back who orchestrated this, and that screams like a something different. Like, it's not like just a normal kidnapping case. Like, something is going on. In love. Two ESOs. Okay, what's happening? Why are you? I got used to it. Hmm. Right. Yeah. Oh. Hey. Bruh. Um. Yeah. What did you do? You, bro. You just stood there. What? Okay. What? Right. It's like static electricity, I guess. Just. What the hell? It's a dog's. Manage your business. Wow. Hmm. Cool. Oh yeah. Well, makes sense. Hmm. Damn. So. Oh wait, he's missing an arm. I didn't realize that. Damn. This is full of scars. There you go. Okay. We still haven't seen his face. Hmm. Copyright announcement. What? Right. Oh. Right. Hmm. That's true. That is actually true. Because Esau is always like keeping everything to himself, while he, like, they're reaching for the closest person that they can get to. Hmm. Yeah, but the real Esau won't really be, as we saw. He's not really that particularly okay with this. I don't know. Bruh. Oh, Esol Jr. is here. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, Esol attacks Douglas. Um. Ha- yeah. Crazy. What the hell is going on here? Oh no. This is actually not good. You know why? Like the actual Isol, it seems like he's not particularly. Oh, look at this. The new Isol. Do you know what the greatest over against? No. I was gonna say everyone's going crazy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Oh. Because he's with the people. Like he, unlike the other Isol who like keeps themselves like an enigma or whatever. Hmm. That is true. Like I said, oh my god, it's dropping. It's dropping. 500,000. Mm. Wait, what? Right. Hmm. No, I don't think so. Is it? I don't know. I feel like. Yeah, I. Listen. Well, that's. He said because he was, right. Oh, he dropped. Eh. Oh, no. Yeah, it's like I think he's like making like a place for like a office or whatever. Yeah. Oh. Hmm. Oh yeah. No, but that's yeah, that's way later. But I guess he's kind of rising up the ranks quite quick. Oh god, I have a bad feeling the actual e-soul is just. Oh. Hmm. Oh god, no, no, no. There we go. Great. What? Yeah, what? And you're just believing them? Okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, are these people dumb? What is going on here? That is the proof? A picture? Okay, this is so ridiculous. How the hell does this even work? You think. That is crazy. Okay, like this is crazy. How the. Right. Bro, shut the hell up. This is just. Yeah, nobody. He didn't get the first trust value because he's Esol, because it was him saving him. And you talk about Esol, the Esol that. Yeah, the Esol that we have now, he never shows this like he said. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't think, like, There we go. Nice. Alright. Yeah, Esol is. The actual Esol is gone. Over. If this goes out. What? You guys are using pictures. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Is this guy stupid? Wait, is this. This is. Right. You know what? In this part, in this arc, he's a good. I'm assuming he's on our side. Yeah? There you go. You. If this report goes out, the actual Esol is done for. Like, absolutely. Like even if the actual Esau has nothing to do about this. Okay, I think. uh, Oh, is it all the supporters? Right. Oh, we still have the Mr. Stan's. Yeah. So this is obviously, it's pretty obvious. This is happening before all of the thing with Nice happened. Okay. And you can see like he's without any mask. He's standing as his himself. This is enough proof that. Watch each one go through. Yeah. Oh, his suit. Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. Something's gonna happen. I have a bad feeling about this. This something's gonna happen. Oh no, something's gonna happen to him. Oh no. Oh my god, he has a gun. And oh, he'll mistake him to be because he's wearing the. Oh my god. Use your, yeah, you come on, use your. Oh, but it's a gun. I don't think he'll be able to. Oh my god. Ugh. Like as soon as he wore the, like, the helmet, I was like, yeah, the person who has been hired to do this will probably mistake him to be the Esol and like shoot him immediately. Like, you know what? After watching so many episodes, there's one thing I've understood. The major problem, source of problem that most of the heroes face in this world is the freaking company that is backing them. Like, a lot of the times, these heroes are not even at fault. Like, I'm not really sure the actual Isol, like, what his stance is on this situation, but the company that is like behind him is doing the absolute, like, like it's doing too much, because obviously they have to keep the, like, name up, otherwise their company is going to go, because they're backing eSoul. So same thing was the situation with Nice as well, where it's just a company that is just making it so, like, overly, like, okay, that's it, like, aggressive. um at least in Nice's situation, the company, I think Treeman Group, I think that was the name, right? That was backing him. I don't know about the big boss at the back, at the very, who was like at the, we saw him once or twice, giving orders to Miss J. But at least Miss J was, I don't know, like, a little bit, had a little bit of humanity in her. You could see it in once and twice. Like, she herself got, when she saw, like, Nice on the screen. There was a lot of times you could see, like, she always used to, like, talk about, like, oh, this is how it should go. She didn't talk with her feelings but logic a lot of the times. But there were a few sections where you could see she actually, like, her humanity came out, and she actually, like, helped in a good way. This, however, this freaking person behind eSoul, like, this is like a, what can I call him? Like an actual scumbag. Like, like a, he just cares about what, obviously, like, like, what eSoul's popularity, if it goes down, like, his own company is probably going to suffer losses and everything. And that's why all of this is happening. Now, like I said, I'm not exactly sure what the actual eSoul stance is all on in all of this, because, there was only a brief section where we saw him speak about this whole situation, when that guy was like, oh, your, like, your popularity is going down, it's shifting. He was like, oh, I'll show them, or something like that, he said. But that was it. So we don't really know what his stance is on in this whole situation. It's the freaking company that is doing all of this. So I've understood this. Like, like, obviously it is important for the company to be involved in this. Like, it's a, I don't know what to call it. Like, it's a, like, it's a necessity at the same time, because these companies are the only way that the people, like, the, when the companies sponsor them, they can get the amount of money, the amount of exposure to the public, like, yeah. So self-employed, or, like, gaining a popularity on your own without any backing from a company is pretty damn difficult, especially because of the way this whole system works, like the trust value works, but at the same time, even though these companies are somewhat necessary, the amount of bad thing that happens because of their greed is the main problem of this world. Like, because these companies, most of them, I'm assuming, are absolute evil. It just doesn't care about anything. It just cares about the numbers. Like, it's just a number game to them. Like, oh, this amount of people, like, the trust value is this much, so we should, like, like, do this. We should do that. Like, same thing with, if you remember, Mr. Stand as well. The company literally didn't care about him. They were like, oh yeah, like, you will be Mr. Stand. Keep standing. That's how it is. That's how the people want you to see, look at you. Like, as if these, like, people are just products for them, just absolute, like, like, these heroes are absolute, like, like they have no humanity. Like, they just treat them as, like, products, basically that. So yeah, it's just, yeah, these companies are the problem. Now, I'm saying all of this because, like I said, I'm not really sure what the exact eSoul has, to do with this. I don't think he knows that this is going on. This whole assassination and everything that we saw. All these things are definitely that guy. The freaking guy in the company. He's probably doing all of this. Asking the people to do all of this. So I'm assuming the actual eSoul has no idea about this, but like I said, we still cannot say that clearly because we haven't seen him speak that much. He was just bare minimum he just said, and that was it. So we don't really know, and we can't even see his face. He's like with his mask and everything, and half of the time the show doesn't even show his face. And I'm also wondering, why are they hiding his face? Like, there must be some particular reason. Like, like, this should be some kind of an interesting reveal in the end. I don't know exactly what, but it should be interesting to see. um but yeah, like, I'm pretty sure it's this freaking guy, the guy who's backing him, the company, that did all of this. So yeah, That's the main problem of this world. Like these greedy, like opportunistic people back in the headquarters, just like watching it through the TV screen and like barking orders and just literally using all these heroes for their own monetary gain. Like, yeah, that's the main evil of this world, or at least part of the problem. You know. Right. Okay. Now today's episode was very good up until obviously the section in the end where it was just like, yeah, it was just absolutely like as soon as they started showing him like Shancho, right? That no, what? No, Shanchao or something like that. I forgot his name. They started showing him alone in that like warehouse, like looking at the mask and the helmet and everything. I was like, yeah, something's gonna happen to him. Like right. I do wonder how Isol's going to not Isol, sorry, how Yancho is going to how this is going to impact him because you know first it was his parents, now like another person close to him died like this in front of him literally. So this is probably going to be a lasting effect on him, and I wonder how this is going to affect his hero self, like not him but how this is going to like manifest in him, like this whole thing, because I don't know, I feel like he's going to become a way more, I don't know, ruthless maybe. It's a possibility. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is definitely going to affect him. This is the second time. Um, right. Okay, now, in the previous episode, like I said, I was kind of confused about the fact that why are people auditioning as ESOL? Now, I think today I kind of understood. It was nothing that I don't know. I don't think it was anything that like like, yeah. I think they were just doing like a little audition because I'm not really sure because it's pretty obvious that the original ESOL, like I thought that they like switch ESOLs every certain amount of time, and that's why they were doing the audition. I don't think it was any of that. So because in this episode it's pretty obvious that the current ESOL had no intention of giving away his position. So that wasn't the case. Like the whole audition thing, which I thought was originally, which I thought that the reason why they did that is because they're going to pick a new soul. I don't think that was the case. So right. Anyways, but yeah, and another thing, like today's episode, we can see something, which is unlike the e soul, that we see current like this is a very interesting thing because this is literally how it works even in the real world. It's like like when the trends, like the new trends, the new generation comes in, like back in my, like when I was a kid, there were certain things going on, a certain generation, certain trends, like that was going on and people were crazy about that, like, yeah. So like just think about anime in itself, back in, I don't know when, like I was a very small kid. I knew nothing about anime. Like nobody knew about any of that. Like yeah, obviously in Japan, anime has been going on for a long amount of time, but it wasn't as worldwide as it was currently. So back when I was like a teenager, and when I was like going to school and all, yeah, anime started popping off. And back in those days, obviously people didn't really know much about anime, but it was like on the rise. Like we were watching it on television, we were like, oh, this is quite good. But before that, like people loved going to, like like people still do, like movies and everything, other like movies, other like like actual cinemas, not animated media. That was like the big boom back then. And in those generation, those the people in that particular generation, they obviously they were like, in that, in our generation, when we were like like that, anime was starting, like getting more popular and popular. And now in this current generation, anime is at its peak. you know if you ask about anime to maybe like people in the age bracket of 50 to 60, they obviously will be like, what the hell is that? I'm 100% guaranteeing you this, like most people, because they don't know what this is about, will have this whole thing about Like, oh no, I don't watch any of that. Like, like that kind of thing. Yeah, still a lot of old people do love anime. I'm not saying like everyone hates it, but I'm saying like a lot of people will not even give it a try and be like, oh no, I'm not really interested in that. You know. So that's the basic thing. Those people, when they were like in the like in a young age, whatever was at the boom then, they are like they that was the generation they lived in. We are in this generation, we're living in this generation, and this is the current generation. Like anime is pretty damn popular. I don't know what's going to happen in 20 more years, but if somehow anime as a media, I don't think it will, but if it goes down and something else takes its place, that generation will cling to that. And we would be the older generation who would be clinging on to anime and be like, what the hell are these kids watching? Like we will be those people. And that is literally what we see here, the change in generation. We see that old man at the end, not old man, he wasn't really that old, but he was like at his like middle age, like like 50 to 60, I guess. He was like, back in my days, like like Esau had to go through so much, like battles, and what does this kid know? And the guy, what was his name, Rock, I think, he was like, man, that's how generations work. Like this now, this is the whole thing. This is how it goes. That's how we need to change. Again, this we need to change with the long, the ongoing generation. That is the main thing. A lot of people like love to cling to what was at its peak back in the day. We are clinging to this. So like I said, if in 20 or 30 years, if something takes the place of anime, I think a lot of us probably will be still clinging to anime, and we would probably be like showing disdain at the fact that the young ones these days are watching some absolute nonsense, even if it's not probably not the case. Because I'm pretty sure our previous generation looks at us as that way and be like, what the hell are these kids watching? We probably will do the same as well in 20 or 30 years. But like I said, if anime still keeps its position, that will probably not happen. But this is just like how like it goes. Like things go on top, fall down, go on top. That's how it works. So yeah, we should probably prepare for a day like that. Like there will be people who will be able to move on and will be able to go along with the changing generation, but a lot of us will probably still cling to anime and think about the like the nostalgia and everything. That'll probably, yeah. So it really today's episode really kind of showed that how this whole thing works. But yeah, anyways, but another big reason for why this current ESOL was getting so popular was, like I said, like younger generation was looking at him more, and the previous ESOL had this whole mystery thing. He doesn't come in front of much people, like exposure wise, like yeah, he was very popular, but he was not really that much like like audience friendly, I guess you could say. He just used to come in like like he was like some kind of an enigma. Like, oh, comes like once a year, like gives like a little speech and then just leaves. And and there was also a certain section where you could see that a lot of people were saying stuff like, oh, Esol, why don't you fight criminals nowadays? All you do is like promote your goods, your merch. Like, what the hell is that? While the current Esol, the new one, which is obviously Yancho, he was like actively fighting villains. He was actively fighting people, going around like defeating like like people who are doing bad stuff. And that's why like and he was very friendly with people. He was, a lot of the times he didn't even wear his mask. People can find a connection to him, unlike looking at a person with a suit and a mask on. They were actually showing his true face, so they could feel more close, I guess you could say. Like a certain connection they could feel within each them. And you can go and shake his hands whenever you want, not whenever you want, but like when you see him in the street, you could be like, oh, like Esol, the new Esol, can I take a picture with you? And he'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? And there you go. If this was the other Esol, you think that would have happened? No. He would be that. And that was what was affecting it. Like, he was this person on in the sky where a lot of people cannot reach, while we have the other Esol who was a lot closer to them. So they were actually clinging to him more as the other Esol's popularity started falling down. So yeah, now, do I think like what the other ESOL was doing was incorrect? No, I don't think so. Like, he had his own way of, like, thing. But there's one thing that like I said, that I did kind of, like, it kind of sounded a little bit odd to me, where they kind of said, like, oh, you don't really fight enemies, like bad people nowadays. All you do is, like, promote your merch. And I was like, okay, that's a bit weird, because, yeah, that's true. He's like, if that's what's going on, that's a bit concerning, right? Because he's supposed to be a hero, like, but yeah, other than that, I feel like, yeah, he was completely fine. But obviously, this company had to pick a fight with the current ESOL, like with Yancho. And literally, I'm pretty sure in the end, the person who killed him, like Shanchao, he was definitely like some mercenary hired by this freaking guy, the company president. Um, let's wait and see. Oh, we also get a little bit of a like, like a little bit of an appearance from, what's his name, Enlighter or something. I forgot his name. The guy who became like the God Eye later on. And he did help us out because obviously he was hired to help us out. And yeah, now another thing is the absolute ridiculousness of, what can I say, the whole like, like the fake news that happened. This freaking guy, he called in Yancho, and he got this footage of those two guys, those two criminals, saying that, oh, like, yeah, Yancho's the one who told us to do this. And what was the evidence of it? A picture of both of them coming in corner. What is this? Does law and order doesn't exist in this world? Like, what is it? You think that is, like, anyone can freaking fabricate a photo? And how the hell can, like that picture that they showed as evidence, where is that part? This part. Yeah, Yancho says, I don't even know them. And then they showed a picture where, like, you can see that that guy's like, his hand is like over Yancho, and Yancho's like like, that scene where he was like literally bullying him. They take that picture and they present it to him and say, you're lying, you have evidence that you have interacted with him before. Are you stupid? Interacted with before? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm pretty sure the police officers who were arresting these guys also interacted with him. Does that mean that they are, like, working for him? Like, what type of brain dead logic is this? I don't understand. Like, like, this is absolutely, like, the height of stupidity. I've never seen this amount of nonsense in any show ever. Like, this is like some next level of dumbness. Like, this is the evidence you have? A picture where the other guy's literally just touching you? That's all evidence? Like, nah, man. This is some next level stupid. Like, and I cannot believe that these people were authorized, like, they could actually arrest him because of a nonsensical evidence like this. Like I said, like, like, if interacting with someone means that you're working with them, then the police officers who arrested that person was also working with him. I could say the same as well. Like, like, what the hell type of thing is this? Oh, good God, this is so damn stupid, man. I cannot believe, like, like, that was the level of their evidence. Like, that actually pissed me off, because I was like, nah, man, this is some next level stupid. Like, who the hell even authorized these people to take him in because of some nonsense like this? Obviously, the people weren't that dumb. The ordinary public, you could see a lot of people were supporting Yancho, But I cannot believe the absolute height of stupidity that this company actually went through. That was the evidence that they gathered, a picture, and they had the nerve. In the end, you can see when Enlighter brings in the video footage, they had the nerve to say, "Oh, that's edited." I'm like, bro, what are you on about? You literally presented a picture where you claimed that, oh, this guy is working with this guy because they're literally interacting with each other, and now you're trying to frame us of editing a video footage. Like, what? You know what? Nah, man, this company is I don't know what the hell, who, like, this guy, this freaking guy with the glasses, this guy is absolute stupid. He's like some E-level stupid, E-tier stupid. If he's the one who came up with this idea, I cannot believe this. I just cannot believe this. This is like some next level dumbness. I've never seen dumbness at this level in any show, in any anime. There's a lot of stupid shows I've seen. This is some next level stupid, you know. And yeah, like I said, at least the normal people weren't that, gullible, or they didn't really believe them. A lot of people were supporting Yancho as well, as you can see. That little thing that came up. Yeah, like I cannot believe we had to hire Enlighter for a dumb, like like a accusation like this. Like, oh yeah, you two are working together because we took a picture of you guys interacting with each other. Nah, man, this is just right. This is just okay. That section really pissed me off. Like I was like, nah, man, this is like I could at least appreciate if these guys actually if like presented a fabricated evidence which was believable. He brought an evidence that is that obvious, and he thought that, oh, everything will work out. That stupidity actually pissed me off. I'm like, bro, you are wasting our time here. And piss off. Like, really. And the nerve that he had to say that, oh, the video footage is edited. He said something like that, right? When Enlighter brings in that footage. Where's that part? Okay. This part. Wait a minute. Found this in the kidnapper's dash cam. Person ordering them is an unknown caller. Okay, here we go. How can you prove that this phone call wasn't made by this young guy? Like, I can say the same thing about your freaking picture. Like, what are you on about? Yeah, and then Enlighter comes in and says, like, I investigated, and then he says, like, like, Yancho doesn't have any money, nothing. So, financial backing, he cannot do stuff like this. He doesn't have that amount of money to do something like that. But you, my friend, you have a lot of way of doing stuff. So there you go. Right, and yeah. But yeah, the final scene was just, like, yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. It's like 50-50. I'm not really sure if it was that guy, the freaking guy from the company who hired this person to shoot, or if it was something else going on. We'll have to wait for the next episode and see what happens. Right. Okay, and there you go. That was today's episode. Right, really good episode, but yeah, things are, like I said, it's a bit concerning because in the end, I don't know how the death of his friend is going to affect Yancho, like, because he already lost his parents, and now it's like he's reliving his trauma again, and this is probably going to affect his hero work as well. I'm not sure. Let's see. Hopefully, and you can see in today's episode multiple time. I forgot the girl's name. She said something along the lines of, "Oh, always be true to yourself." This is like some kind of foreshadowing, I'm guessing, for the next episode. And now that we saw in the end what happened, I feel like things are not going to go good. Like, at least mentally, Yancho is going to be very much affected. And that's why today's episode was foreshadowing something. Like, like the girl was continuously saying that, oh, be true to yourself. Do not forget, like, like this and that. So, yeah. Okay, there you go. That was today's episode. That was my overall impressions for today. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, we have, obviously, like, Yancho, like, the secret is out that he's actually under Isol's costume. Like, the girl, Jia, right? Yeah, that was her name, Jia. Jia, like, thanked him, and then Shanja also came in, and like, they were talking, and you can see each, like, his power is kind of like discharging, and they're like, what? He's like, what the hell is going on? So the reason behind it is because everyone saw him fighting. People are trusting him more and more. First, it was started with one, and then we had like, that whole thing soar up, like, more people now, as he saw his wrist, the trust level has gone way higher, and that's why his electric discharge is just going out, and he's getting more stronger. Okay, now, okay, that was how it began, this episode. After that, you can see he apologizes to Jia, because he was technically lying about the whole, like, thing about him not being Esau. Like that part, like not really lying, but he kept it a secret. So which is technically another form of lying. If you know something and if you don't tell that to someone, you're not really lying, but at the same time you're hiding crucial information, which is a form of lying. So that's why he apologized. And like, but Isha was like, you know what, I always had the feeling that it was probably you, because I went and saw you in that place you were fighting the in the hero show. And then when I talked to you, I always got that feeling. So I understand. Right, next we get to see they are like Isha and Yancho, both of them are meeting in that place. And this guy Rock, I think his name was, he was like, oh, you know what, let's use this as an opportunity for for my business. So he makes Yancho like shake hands with the kids. And at first everyone and one of the kids were like, oh, you're the person in the hero costume. But then when he shook his hand, he realized that there's actual electricity discharge. So he's like, oh, wait a minute, you're the actual one. And he's like, hey guys, come look at this. And all the kids started lining up, and he started giving them like a hair style change with the static. Oh, that was pretty funny. Anyways, in the end, after all of that, then Rox told him that, you know what, you need a sponsor. Like, because yeah, you can go further. So Shan Shao comes in, and he's like, I'll help you out. Right. And while all of this is going on, we have the actual ESOL training, and this freaking guy, the guys, like the, you know, what's his name? The guy with the, the guy from the company. And haven't told his name, or if they have, I just don't remember, and I couldn't be cared enough to remember his name. He is like, oh, your popularity is going down and everything. In the end, Esol kind of says something along the lines of like, oh, like, I'll show them who the real Esol is. That's all he said, and that's it. We didn't hear from him after that at all. That's why I'm not exactly sure what he feels about this situation in a proper way. So yeah. Anyways, after that we get to see. Oh, another thing you can see. There was like a little logo at the background where it's written 47 days to go or something like that. That was like the hero tournament or whatever was going to happen. We saw, in the end of the nicest story, there was like 24 or something amount of days left. I forgot the exact date. Now it's like so this is like happening at least like 20 or so days ago, before. So obviously this is happening before nicest story, but it's very close to it. And obviously Mr. Stan's statue is also there. It hasn't broken down. All those things. So it kind of shows like this is exactly happening before the nicest story. So somewhere in this world, nicest story is also going to be starting a few days later. Anyways, okay. So after that, we have like like Shanchao giving him like the suit, making the suit, and like all that stuff, making him ready for being a hero. He goes out fighting like criminals, and then when people like see him in the streets, they shake hands with him and everything. He's way like more connected to the people, so his popularity is going higher and higher, while we have people questioning the original Esol about like, oh, why don't you fight criminals, all you do is now like promote your goods, like okay, fan war escalating. Public voice keeps renewing non-stop. Like we have Esol versus Esol, copycat, cheap, and then we have for the original Esol, fossil, corporate puppet. Bruh, that is crazy. And then we see like the original Esol like talking about his merch and being like, oh, 1,000 limited edition like like figures of my like of Esol. And people are like, Esol, why are you just promoting your stuff nowadays? When will you fight people? And also the 1,000 like limited edition goods are also pretty pricey, I think. While we have the other Esol like Yancho's goods being more affordable and more something like that, I think. Yeah, and people are like, oh, look at him, he's so full of sunshine, it's no wonder everyone likes him, while we have the other Esol just with a mask and just grumpy old man kind of like vibe. So people are not really connected with him that much, unlike this new person. So people are just flocking to him nowadays. Okay, so Here we go. As you can see, when they were, this was this guy who was like looking at the official e-sold goods, and he's like, dang, it's so expensive. Even for old fans, this is too much. And we have his girlfriend, I think, is like, oh, don't think about it. Spending money on that junk, we should save it for our kids. Yeah, and then literally next scene, we see kids being like, oh, like this new e-sold goods, I want that, not that one. Crazy shift. Right, and there you go. And while all of this is going on, you can see like he reaches like 500,000 trust value or something, and then you can see Shanchao says like, the reason why you're so popular is because you have a face, like you're more connected, you're more close to the people, you know. So yeah, while all of this is going on, we also have Jia kind of talking to him and saying that Shanchao kind of asked her out, and obviously Yancho was a little bit rattled at that, and she's like, "Oh, I haven't given him an answer." Then they're like going, like, because he called him for a little surprise. In the bus, Jia asks him about why did you lie about liking Lucky Xian. At which he's like, "Oh, I didn't lie," but then Jia reminded him that, "Oh, you said that you didn't listen to her music later," and he realized he said that because he wanted to get out of that situation, which obviously wasn't really the case. He it's not that he doesn't like Lucky Xian. He just said that because he wanted to get out of that situation. So he was like, okay, let me give her the tickets, but he left the tickets at his house, so he couldn't do that. And then he reached Shanchao's place. Shanchao shows him like that warehouse, and he's like, you know what, Dad, after seeing all of this, Dad decided to sponsor you. Like after investing in your equipment, the remaining amount of money we invested in this place. Now you can do your tests over here. We don't have to like stay over there. Yeah, it's like a personal space for us. So this is all happening, and then later on Xia talks to Yancho, and and again, like I said, this is like foreshadowing. She says that, promise me, Yancho, do not forget, no matter what happens in the future, still face yourself with honesty and courage. She at least says this 2 to 3 times into this episode, which makes me think it'll be some kind of foreshadowing for the next episode. Right. Either way, then this is where everything starts. Like he gets brought in, and this freaking guy have been like puts in an evidence where there's like a picture of those two, like those hooligans interacting with Yancho, and they're like, oh yeah, they're working together. So this whole incident that we saw that sparked all of this is fake. Like I said, this is some stupid logic. Like it just pissed me off so much here. Anyways, this kind of triggered his trauma, because when he was a kid, a lot of people like bullied him because he had zero trust value. Right, and then in front of that guy, he's like, oh, like you give us a formal apology, you take out your name from there, and all these things he says. He's like, oh, this thing you'll have to do, we'll forgive you. At which Jia's obviously like, no, we're not going to do that, because obviously you're just doing this because your own like your e-soul's popularity is dwindling down. Now you're trying to grasp at the straws and literally bullying us because you have that power to do so. We're not going to back down. People will say who the real e-soul is. And after that, we have Shan Shao come in with the evidence, and this guy's still saying some nonsensical stuff like, oh, who knows if this video is correct or not? Who knows if the person on the other side of the phone was Yancho? And I'm like, bro, same thing can be said to your freaking picture, which is even more dumber, because you just presented a picture that is not a proper evidence. Anyways, after that, Enlighter comes in and he literally debunks his whole thing, and he's like, yeah, you're done for. Like, piss off. Right. And then when we go outside, you can see everyone is rooting for this current e-soul, a large number of e-soul supporters, and he literally became this whole situation definitely boosted his popularity even more. So that freaking guy, he literally shot his own foot, basically trying to pull this stunt. Right, and like I said, you can see this one old guy was like, oh, back in my days, No, Esau used to do this. We had to. Here we go. Where's that part? He's like, back in my day, I watched Esau go through fight after fight to become a hero. And Rock is like, bro, the times have changed. We have to change as well. And I'm like, okay, here's another thing I can say. Like, yeah, that might be the case because you can see the current Esau, like the other Esau, it's like half of his head, like hand is missing and everything. He must have gone through so many crazy fights. I can understand him, but at the same time, the current Esau that is becoming, like popular, he's also fighting. Like, you cannot expect someone to be like 100 from the literal beginning, like, like as if like how you saw Esau ranking, climbing up the ranks. The same thing is happening now as well. You're just stuck over there, and you're not acknowledging this. Like this, Yancho is also going through the same process, little by little. Nobody starts from 100. Everyone starts from a zero. You know, like you also saw the current Esau starting from zero to go to 100, and now you're just like, oh, like yeah, back in my days, and I'm like, bro, same thing is happening. Back in your days, you were this little kid looking starry-eyed towards Esau, seeing him rise up the ranks. In this generation, there's a lot of kids doing the same. So it's like this logic is just absolutely, he's just biased, obviously, because he's clinging to his nostalgia. And like I said, I literally talked about this in the discussion section. In a few years, we will probably be like that as well, clinging to our nostalgia and refusing to acknowledge the new trends of the generation. That'll be us in 20 years, I'm pretty sure. And that's just how it goes, unfortunately. Right. Anyways, so yeah, that was that. After that, we see Yancho and Jia go and meet Shancho. Um, yeah, Jia also said something very important. I know. I want you to be brave and face yourself honestly. If you do that, then I'll support you unconditionally. But if you can't, I won't stop and wait for you. Wait, what? Okay, the subtitles are a little bit weird here. She says that even if you cannot, I'll still wait for you. The subtitles are a little bit like a janky here, I think. That's what I could understand from what she said in Japanese. I was listening to that. So she says that I will support you unconditionally. That was okay. But even if you cannot, yeah, I will wait for you. I'll still wait for you. That's what she says. So she says that, like, face yourself properly. I'll support you unconditionally. If you cannot do that, I'll wait for you. I think something like that she says. Right, and the subtitle says it in a little bit of a weird way. So, that's why I had to correct that. Anyways, that was that. Again, I feel like she's like, I don't know. Like she's like saying so many things in such so many cryptic ways. I don't know. I get the feeling that it's like huge foreshadowing for the next episode, whatever's going to happen. So yeah, let's wait and see. Either way, after that, they go in to Shanchao's place, but Shanchao was like very happy with the new costume and the helmet, so he was like wearing it and trying it out. And when the knock came, he thought like, oh, they're probably here. So while wearing that, he opened it, and this freaking guy who was hired to shoot probably Yan Chao mistook him for Yan Chao because he was wearing the mask, and he shot him. And Yan Chao was literally there. He couldn't stop it. He just couldn't. And yeah, and that's it. And like I said, this is going to affect him. This is going to affect him. This is the second time where he just stood there and saw someone dying in front of him. Like, if this happened like somewhere else, like where he didn't see that, that would be a little bit different. But he literally saw it again. This is the same thing that happened with his parents. He couldn't do anything to save them. He was there. Same thing that happened here. Even after getting this power, he had the same experience. So I think this is going to affect him heavily. Next episode, we'll see how this goes. So that is it. That was my reaction to episode number 6 of To Be Hero X. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, Subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of 2B Hero X. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.